prettier land any place than right here in Appalachia. You know, and I know I'll use this word Tennessee, but to me, East Tennessee and Southeastern Kentucky, it's the prettiest country God ever made. And the absolute best people I ever met. Country folks, hillbillies, if you will, we love one another. You know, and I just love talking to good country folk. I don't know what paradise will be like, but you know what? It could be just wonderful green mountains. It could be just rolling valleys, a crystal river. It could be white sand beaches. I don't know, but it's going to be wonderful. Unbelievable. That's what paradise is going to be. It's beyond anything your mind could ever imagine. And it's made possible through the cross of redemption where Jesus died. And that man realized, he said, Lord, Lord, when you come in your kingdom, would you just remember me? You know, he didn't say, would you give me this? Would you do this? Could you give me? You know, a lot of folks down here on this earth, you know, I remember when I was a kid, folks, you know, if you said gimme, I had a buddy of mine, he said, hey, listen, gimme got killed last week. Gimme got run over. A whole lot of folks are the gimme kind. Gimme. This fellow, when he's on the cross, he just looked at me and said, Lord, would you just remember me? Didn't ask for all kinds of things. He said, just remember. He said, this day you're going to be in paradise with me.
Man.
Made possible right there. Your ticket to paradise was punched that day. Your ticket, your pass, your boarding pass to get on board was punched that day. The cross of redemption, the blood that was shed for each and every one of us. And it was made possible from a man called Jesus. Today, you're going to be with me in paradise. The cross of rejection, a man that said, hey, if you're who you are, just get us off of here. Take care of everything. Had bitterness, had sorrow in his voice, in his spirit. The other man that acknowledged and feared God and said, hey, do you not realize what's going on here, buddy? Do you not see what's happening? The cross of reception and then the redemption that came. The redemption that came when Jesus spoke those words. When he looked over at the thief and he said those words, this day you'll be in paradise. I know many of you are saying, well, wait a minute, preacher. I'm not no thief. Oh, as my boy Rhett Walker said, we're all just beggars and thieves in need of the very same grace. Every single one of us. We're all beggars. We're all thieves. None of us worthy. Oh, wait a minute, preacher. You offend me. You're telling me I'm a thief. Well, you know what? Sometimes folks, they like to classify what sin is. You know, got to preach that message real soon. When they try to put levels of sin, well, I'm not a horrible sinner. Well, sin is sin is sin is sin. You know, you might not be a thief, but you could be the biggest liar that ever existed. You know, I get kids all the time. Every year I got some kid and I look at him about midway through the year and I say, hey partner, you speak with a forked tongue. You ever watch them cowboy movies when you was a kid? That's what the Indians said of the white guys. That's when they lied to them. They said, white man speak with forked tongue. I got youngins that speak with a forked tongue. And they'll say, how do you know I'm lying, Mr. Munn? I said, your mouth's moving. That's how I know. You're talking. And everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie. I like funny things, you know. There's a Geico commercial with Pinocchio. I call some of my kids, I name them Pinocchio. Anybody seen the Pinocchio commercial where he's the motivational speaker and he looks at the guy and says, you have great potential. Woo! And that nose shoots out there, buddy. And then he's like, oh. Well, he's lying. But a lot of folks say, well, wait a minute, I'm not no thief. I don't do bad things. I've not stole. I've not this. I've not killed anybody. Maybe you can't tell the truth. Sin is sin is sin is sin. Ain't no livings and no bad. Oh, I had a little sin. A little bit. Little bitty. Well, you know what? God looks at all of them, little, big, medium, whatever. They're all sin. They're all a stitch in His nostril. All of it. All of it. You know? And a lot of these, I'll just get on this, sanctified, self-righteous church folk who look down our nose and man, we carry the book of judgment, right? It's in our purse, in our wallet, in our pocket. We just whip it out. Well, let me look over here real quick. Oh yeah, that's a sin. And that's a big one. So when you got a big sin, you take a big rock. Okay? You know, it wouldn't have done for Ernest T. Bass to have one of them, would it? As good a rock thrower as he was, you know. A woman come ask him and said, what can you do? Can you do this? No. Can you do this? No. What can you do? I throw rocks. He was good. A lot of folks are like Ernest T. Bass. They can throw rocks. Wonder why I'm going this way, but it don't cost no extra. But they look in their book of judgment. Oh yeah, that's a little one. So you want to get that rock, about that big. That's the sin rock for that sin. And if you get down to the big ones, oh man, you're in trouble. You've done some big sins. Really, I know some folks say, well, if you're preacher, you're being just a little bit facetious. No, I'm not. There's actually folks who kind of think that way. You know, I had a boy the other day who was telling me, and I just shook my head because this, you know, how the preachers get reproached brought on them by all kinds of stuff. You know, and that's one reason I ran from preaching because I just, you know, the devil, he fed me this like people won't like you. And, you know, I was one of these guys, I wanted everybody to like me, you know. And the devil said, well, if you start preaching, people won't like you, they'll run from you. You know, your friends won't like you, they won't hang out with you, they won't, you know, they'll shun you. Well, you know, I've had a couple of cases like that, but, you know, if they shunned me, they weren't my friend anyway. They weren't a true friend. But, you know, a lot of times preachers, they bring reproach upon us, you know, just for some of the things they do and they say. And I had a fellow, they tell me, I was up the road in a motorcycle in this store, and this fellow was telling me, he said, I'm going to tell you something. And he began to rattle off about the situation, and he said, I had a little bit of a beard. And said, this preacher told me I was going to hell because I had a beard. Uh-oh, Bill. I said, you're kidding me, Charlie. Oh, my Lord. He said, he was serious. He said, he looked at me and said, Lord, I'm just so disappointed you got a beard. I said, you're kidding me. He said, no. I said, well, you know, the Bible, it talks about men in the Bible who had beards. You know? Talk about him plucking out the beard of Jesus.